yourself, right, well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Let's start, sit to the next person next to me. Yeah, Alan's next to me. Oh yeah, man, we paid all this money, we should have this and we should have that. There was not enough salt in the food today. And then basically, why was there no meat? No, I wanted vegetables, blah, blah, blah. The list could go on. And I can write a book on all the excuses and the complaints that you guys can come up with, because we've heard them all. However, there's two ways of doing it. One way is when you go there, I've just got one slide to put up, which is on something else. And as soon as I put it up, basically, what you guys need to do is to set yourselves personal targets. Now those personal targets will then judge exactly how your Hajj is going to go. And that will tell, basically, how much control you're going to have. 2 years ago, we had this one lady who turned around and we said to them that, right, the bus is going to be 4 hours late. Absolutely no movement whatsoever. And she just carried on reading. She was sitting there just doing her zikr. Now, to occupy your time, instead of sitting there gossiping or talking about the worldly things, right? And I'll tell you what, we've got so much to talk about. Even in this room, just in this, alhamdulillah, we've got business people, we've got doctors, we've got dentists, we've got solicitors, we've got all sorts of people in the room. High profile doctors as well, retired doctors. But, so we can talk about the dunya as much as possible. How many of you have said already before you leave that, okay, these are what my targets are going to be? One guy in Ramadan called Abdul Aziz from Bolton. The reason why I mention his name is because most of you won't know him. He said, all the time, I never used to see him in the day. Never used to see him. You know, Zohar, Asr, he used to just come in after Isha and grab the cold food that was left over from Maghrib, eat a little bit and then disappear. On the 20th Ramadan, I called him and I said, where are you? Where do you do all that? I never see you around. He said, what are you on about? I've got personal targets, I've got to hit those targets. And I'm thinking to myself, you're not going in the Olympics, mate, what's going on? And he said, no, I've got my own personal targets of how much Quran am I going to read each day, how much zikr am I going to do each day, how much durood I'm going to do each day, how much kalma tayyiba I'm going to read each day. And every single day he was going, within 3 days he was completing the Quran. On top of the Quran he was doing his zikr, and these were the personal targets. I suggest to you guys now, even from this minute, is that you set yourselves your personal targets. So therefore, no matter what is going on around you, whether the food was like this or Maulana Inam wasn't there for ziyarat on time, you're still sticking to your personal targets. The two things that you'll get from that is that you will avoid yourself from talking about the dunya, and more importantly, all your amals, and your hajj will take place inshallah properly. This is how you occupy the time. You need to set, whoever's on an 8-day package, are you going to complete the Quran in the 8 days? Whoever's in the 14-day package, are you going to complete 2 Qurans? And so on. So the longer you go for, you should be completing more Qurans. The time is not there for shopping. If you want to shop, then go to Trafford Centre. You'll find better things and more quality things in the Trafford Centre than you will in Bin Dawood. Trust me, I've done it. We have done our Hajj. Ibrahim, Maulana Inam, myself, we did our Hajj 8 years ago, and alhamdulillah, we've been going every single year since then, and we have done our Hajj. But trust me, 8 years ago, nobody sat me in a room and said, look, this is what you should expect. We were just given the ticket, got to the airport, and shambles. I'm not saying it's not going to be shambles when we arrive at the airport, but at least you need to know in advance what I am due to expect. And this is why we are here. Now then, like Maulana Inam said, is we want a Hajj Mabrur, which is an accepted Hajj. A Hajj free of sin. And how will we do that? Is just by not backbiting, just doing good, forbid from evil, and doing as much tilawat as possible. That is Hajj Mabrur. And you know what? When you do that, and when you stick to your targets, You will only be satisfied yourself, because you're not doing it for me. You're not going to say to me every evening and say, Brother Shafir or Maulana Inam, I've set my target for that and I've done that. Pats on the back for you. You're doing it for yourselves. You're not doing it for me or anybody else. You set your targets for yourself, and when you complete your targets, then you will feel satisfied. Right. Now then, come on. Okay, where does Hajj take place? Nobody knows where Hajj takes place? Arafah. How many people believe that Hajj takes place in Makkah? Oh, that's a relief. Okay? Because Hajj does not take place in Makkah. The number of calls that we get is that, Hajj is in Makkah. We want accommodation just there for the 5 days of Hajj. Countless. Hajj takes place in Mina, and Arafah is just outside Mina. So yes, alhamdulillah, at least everybody knows that it's not in Makkah. Now the journey of Hajj, I always put down in 3 parts. Okay? One is Medina, and Medina, if you don't go to Medina, your Hajj is also counted, but we should go to Medina because it's the resting place of our Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So you've got the Medina part of it, then you've got the Hajj itself, and then you've got Makkah. Okay, so I always split it into 3 parts. How many people in this room were on the 8 days package? Okay, mashallah. Meant for the people who have got serious energy. These people, it's like climbing Everest without stopping at first base. And these guys are going to go there, perform their Umrah, straight finish no resting at all, maybe 1 or 2 hours, and then go into Hajj. And then straight after the Hajj, the last day they perform their Tawaf al-Wida, and then straight home. No breathing whatsoever, no time to rest. So when we go on the internet, and sometimes we do get negative feedback, even we do, and you'll see some negative feedback, it was hell. I've seen the word hell. I went to Hajj and it was hell. Astaghfirullah. And these are the people that usually write things like that. Why? Because it is tough. It is hard work. And you have to be mentally prepared, brothers and sisters, that this is not going to be an easy task. Your group leader, Brother Afzal, is over there, and he's taking 40 people, but be prepared mentally and physically. Because the thing is, you're leaving your ivory towers here and then going into the deep end. Okay? So this is a tough one, but inshallah, Allah will be with you. This is the 3rd year that we are running the 8 days package. Nobody else in the country is actually crazy enough to do it like we are, but we do it, and alhamdulillah, it works for us, and may Allah be with you. That's all I can say. But inshallah, you'll be fine. You've got a good group leader, very, very patient, but he does do things military style. So it's you need a lot of energy. Now, whatever package you guys are going on, it really doesn't matter. There are certain things that the only thing we can offer is advice, and pure, genuine advice. Who's been wearing the footwear that you're going to be taking with you for Hajj? Who's been wearing it? 1, 2, 3, 4 people, 5. Well, I suggest that you change that from this minute on. That footwear needs to be broken into. See, we talk about equality, right, in Islam, and the West always say you suppress your women. Now listen to this. The men can only wear 2 pieces of cloth and flip-flops. The women can wear what they want. Right? So they can wear their normal clothes and wear what they want. We can't wear socks. They can wear 10 socks if they want to. We can't wear our Nike trainers. They can wear Prada trainers if they want to. Where's the equality? Okay? So you women, you can wear whatever you feel like wearing. That is your ihram. For us guys, it's just the 2 pieces of cloth. But what I would say to you, the most important part of it is your footwear. Okay, wear it now. Start doing. Last week we ran our seminar in London, and this one lady was walking 20,000 steps a day to get used to it. 20,000 steps a day. Now you've got to be honest with yourself. How much exercise or how much walking are you doing now? Because I'll tell you something, when you get there, you are going to have a mighty shock. And when you start getting blisters and then your feet start to crack at the back, you'll be focused more onto that than your ibadah. So I suggest, again, only thing we can offer is advice, is you start walking, right? Or walk with your partners even in the evening in the shoes or the flip-flops or the slippers that you are going to be wearing in the 5 days of Hajj. So I suggest you do that now. The 8 days, people, you've got all your details. You've got flights on Saudi Airlines, first flight, last flight out, first flight back, and we will be emailing you a brother Afzal's mobile number on what to do at the airport. Okay? Now, the 14 days, the 19 days, and the 23 days package. Actually, you don't need to read that because I'm actually just doing it for my place, so I can read it here so I don't forget anything. Now, most of the leaders, every single group has a leader, okay? And in total, in Medina, there will be approximately 11 of us. So, out of 220 Hajjis who are going to Medina, there'll be 11 guides, 11 people who really do know what they're doing, okay? Now, so the 14 days, 19 days and the 23 days, right, they all go to Medina. The 23 days, obviously they'll be performing their 40 salahs, inshallah, in Medina. So they're going to be there earlier. And there's myself who will lead that group, and there'll be other people who are bringing small numbers, like Brother Harun, he'll be taking a group from here, and then we'll be meeting them in Medina. But the rest of the people, right, with Ibrahim, Imran Chaudhry, Minhaj Chaudhry, Brother Hafi, they'll all be people, you will know exactly who your group leader is, and we'll be bringing you. And then Brother Alam here, he's bringing the people on Turkish Airlines from Manchester. Okay? Now then, we will spend approximately 4 days, 5 nights in Medina. The beauty about it is, the good thing is we will not be staying now in Mubarak Silver. We have been upgraded, we've upgraded everyone to Dar Al Naeem Hotel and Muqtada International, which are 2 hotels next door to Mubarak Silver, but of a higher quality. Now also, everybody in Medina is in full board. Basically, we will be providing breakfast, lunch and dinner. And the food will be Indian, Pakistani style food. Okay? So we're not going to bring any food from outside. Also in Medina, we will perform the ziyarats of the Masjid al-Nabi itself, and also for the tour outside. When we leave Medina, which will be on the 21st of October, okay, the 21st of October we'll be leaving Medina to go to Makkah. Inshallah, because that is the 5th of Zil-Hajj. Last year, we didn't leave until the 6th of Zil-Hajj. Why? Because Medina had run out of coaches. So we left the following day, which turned out to be absolutely fantastic for us, because the Prophet's Mosque was basically empty, and we could pray in Turakat Nafir in Riyaz al-Jannah, and also give salam pesh to the Prophet with ease. So sometimes things are not in our control, and we may leave on the 6th of Zil-Hajj, but actually it makes no difference to us whatsoever whether we leave on the 5th or the 6th, because we still have plenty of time for Umrah. The journey from Makkah to Medina will approximately be 8 hours, with lots of stops, because they have to. If anybody is wanting to go by air, then we won't do that. We will not allow anybody to go by air, because it's not like Umrah time where you can just take a flight and say, I'll see you when I get there. In Makkah, in Hajj time, everything is in the control of the ministry, including your passport. So the passport problem does not allow you to just travel individually by air. So when we get to Makkah, we will get to the Pilgrim Reception Center, which will be about Fajr time. From the Pilgrim Reception Center, everybody has to go to the Muallim office. So whether, it doesn't matter which package you are on, 19 days, 23 days, or 14 days, you all follow the same process going from Medina through all the way to Makkah. Okay, everybody follows the same process. So in effect, when we leave Medina, we will have 5 coaches going at one time, inshallah, and with 5 group leaders leading each coach. So after the Pilgrim Reception Center, each coach will be going to their respective muallims. What is a muallim? Muallim is a Saudi Arabian citizen who is appointed to become a leader for approximately 5,000 Hajjis. In reality, it's about 7,000 Hajjis, okay? So, he then takes our passports and he keeps them in a safe. And nobody can access them except us who are group leaders. So you cannot just go there and say, I want my passport. If anybody wants to go to Jeddah, say after the Hajj or whatever, that is possible, okay? But there are means and ways. They have to take the passports, copy, and a passport photo to the Muallim office. They again give you a tasri to then allow you to go to Jeddah. But that's the only place you can go to. So if anybody wants to go to Jeddah, they need to take their photograph and the passport copies. We will not be doing that for you because our time is far more precious than taking people to Jeddah or shopping for that matter. Now then, so as soon as we do that, then we go to our accommodation at the Jamarat, otherwise known as Shisha. Okay? Now, why are we going to Shisha instead of going to Makkah? It's very simple. We're going to get there approximately 1.5 days before Hajj itself. Okay? When we get there, we're going to go to a place near at the border of the Jamarat, which is which is basically Mina. Okay? When we get there, we will then take our bus to perform Umrah. After we perform Umrah, then we'll come back to Shisha and then we will rest for approximately 18 to 19 hours before we go to Hajj. So, having accommodation in Makkah at that point is completely and utterly pointless, in my opinion. Then what we will do is you will rest for 24 hours, or 18, 19 hours before we go to Mina. All the food will be provided in Mina, in the Shisha building that we have. And in the Shisha building, as advertised, there is nobody will be in double or triple sharing with their families. That just cannot happen. You have to separate. For the men and the women will have to be separated. Why? It's very simple. Because women in particular will need their individual space. We've done the family thing before, but it doesn't work. When the women are in their area or on their floor, they want to take their hijab off, they want to be free, they want to walk places, so they do not want men coming in that area. So that is a reassurance from us that that will not happen. Men will be on the lower floors and the top floor as well. So that lower floors meaning so that the women are protected from people coming from outside. The building will also have security at the front, and so therefore people just cannot walk in. How will we differentiate, or you differentiate yourself from everybody else out there? Now, everybody will be given ID cards. Now, the ID cards are not a discretionary item to wear. It's a mandatory item to wear. If anybody is seen not wearing their ID cards, okay, which is that, everybody will get one. If they don't wear this, then they will not get fed, they will not be allowed in the building, they will not be allowed in the tents in Mina. So, in a nutshell, you're basically going to be stuck. So, and there's no reason why you shouldn't wear one. Last year, we had you better than us. And what her daughter decided, Mom, you don't need the ID card anymore, we've done our Hajj. So took the ID card off her, the band that was provided from the Muallim off her, even decided to take a mobile phone off her, and you don't need any money on you either. Someone would think, from the outside, you're trying to get rid of your mom. What happened? We went for ziyarah. As they were talking on the way back to the hotel, the mother disappeared with no identification whatsoever, and no phone, no communication. We lost her for 72 hours. This is not a joke. Ibrahim and our other colleagues, instead of looking after the remaining Hajis, 11 of them were there looking for her. 118 posters had to be stuck on pillars all over Makkah. 19 different offices had to be visited, sending the passport photo of this lady. So before somebody decides to become the group leader themselves and go against our wishes and do their own thing, think again. Because if you think you know better than us, I can guarantee and be rest assured you don't. We have to make this so, we have to label the point so much, because you do not understand the importance of identity. You don't know when you can pass out. It's hot out there. Yeah? You may be young and fit here. You could drop, you could fall, you could pass out. 5 years ago, one guy, Bilal Aziz from Birmingham, this is when we had the tents near the Jamrat. Al-Hidayah were next door to us and we were in there. We didn't let anybody go and tell the shaitan. This was before the new shaitan was built. They let their people go. And then Bilal Aziz, his cousin, was with Al-Hidayah. They went to the building of the shaitan, and the husband and the mother, they got squashed, stampede, passed away. So please listen. Yeah, we've been there. Take advice. If you don't know, ask. We are there for that reason. Okay, ask us if you're not sure about something. But having identity is absolutely crucial. You can get lost, but if you show somebody this, it's got at the back, rear, you've got 7 telephone numbers, 7 of us. If one of us might be sleeping, which we do as well, we have to sleep. We have to recoup our energy. I know some people think that we're made out of robots, and if we're not there after like Zohar prayers, then it's like all hell breaks because the group leaders have ran away with our money. Are we going to go and do our Hajj anymore? No, but we still have to rest too, because if we don't rest, then we are not functioning properly, that will affect your Hajj. So all of us, including yourselves, you have to pace yourselves. It's no point by the time you get there, as soon as you get there, you've done your Umrah, right? I'm not going to go back to Shisha, I'm going to do another Umrah, I'm going to do 15 tawafs before Hajj. And then when you get to Hajj, when you get to the day of Arafah, you're sleeping. What's the point? Pace yourselves. I'll tell you another story about a couple who decided to become group leaders and decided to do their own Hajj. He said, oh, did you get to kiss Haji Aswad? When somebody went to see them to drink Zamzam, he said, oh yeah, loads of times. We basically killed it, nailed Haji Aswad. He said, how? Got 4 million people there, how did you even get there? Especially with your wife. He said, no, all these stupid people went for Arafah on the day of Arafah, on the day of Hajj, and we stayed behind because there was nobody in Haram. So we just carried on kissing Haji Aswad. So again, I said, what about, you missed your Hajj? I said, no, we didn't. We went the next day. And nobody was in Arafah either. So we had a fantastic time. So everything, there is a time and a place. So when we say things, do this at this time, it is for a reason. You have to remember there's 4 million people. Now if we try and organize Wembley, just think of the Olympics. The amount of security and the amount of police that is there, absolutely amazing. And when you look at Haram, there's a brother in this room who was with me in the last 10 days in Medina, in the month of Ramadan. It's like you can hear a pin drop when you go for, if anybody's done it in Ramadan, that's 10 days, and in Masjid al-Nabawi, you can hear a pin drop at the time of iftar. As soon as iftar is over, within minutes, the whole thing is cleaned up. And this is absolutely amazing. That can only happen with the Qudra of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So again, these 4 million people, Allah looks after them. If you look at the number of police and the authorities there, it's minimal. But Allah looks after them. And one thing that I will say to you, which loads of people in every single seminar that you will go to by the ulama and across the country, they will just go and say one thing. They say, take it with you, take it with you. If you take this, you will be successful. You will take this. It's free, it doesn't cost you anything. It's sabr, patience. And you'll say, oh, come on, give us a break, tell me something new. Loads of people say that. But that is what will make or break your Hajj. And it's not sabr, you have to test yourself to the limit. You know, there'll be lots of things that will come across. And what you've got to remember is, no matter what sort of transport it is, sadly for me, I don't have a Bentley there either that somebody will be carting me around in, you know, or a GMC. Whatever you travel in, I travel in. Whatever hotel you stay in, I stay in. Whatever tent you stay in, I stay in. So it's not as if it's something different for me and it's something different for you. For the 19 days package, you've got Brother Ibrahim and Brother Minhaj, who are your group leaders. Then the 23 days package, you've got me and some others that are coming from London that you don't need to know about, and that's your group leader. And then Maulana Inam al-Hassan will join us because he's going to Jeddah first, about 2 days later. You've got some questions that I'm sure you're going to have that I'm going to cover before you start. When will I receive my passport? Well, out of 265 people, we have 200 passports already. So those people will receive your passports today. 60 passports are still in the embassy and they will receive their passports. In the next 2 days, we will send them out. So alhamdulillah, all visas are done except the 60, which inshallah will come out on Tuesday. So that is a big thing. Trust me, getting a visa is everything. Flights, no matter what we can find. Hotels, we can find. Without a visa, you're not going anywhere. So alhamdulillah, you should thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that everybody has got their visa. I've told you what a Hajj draft is. The Hajj draft goes behind the passport. Please do not touch it. Don't touch anything in the passport because it's vital. Vital, because if you remove it, you only make things difficult for yourself and for us. How soon do I need to get to the airport? Leave yourselves, you need to be at the airport 3 hours before travel. Okay? So 3 hours before travel, once you get there, just let your group leader know. If you've got the group leader, because on the smaller flights with small numbers, you don't have a group leader. So therefore, if you've got a group leader, let them know that you are there. If you're going to check in, let them know, and then you've gone on the other side, otherwise he'll be waiting for you at check-in. If I forget anything, what do? Well, if you forget your passport, you've had it. Nothing I can do about that. I'm sorry, that's in your hands. Anything else, including medication, right, we will make sure that you'll get for in Medina. Okay, so don't worry too much if you've forgotten your ihram or you've forgotten things. We will provide that, or we'll make sure you'll get that in Medina. But your passport is absolutely crucial. I can't do anything about that. Okay, your passport, where has it gone as soon as you arrive in Medina? Because as soon as you come through the airport, you'll be collecting your passports and throwing things in a bag, and you'll think to yourself, oh my God, that's it, it's all over. But no, don't worry about your passports. They'll go to the Muallim office, and then when we move, wherever you move, you have to remember one policy. Wherever you go, like from Makkah to Medina, then your passport will go with you. Okay? But it's not your responsibility to get the passport, it's mine. And so you don't need to worry about that. So you don't need to go to Ibrahim, where's my passport, where's it disappeared, blah, blah, blah. This is our job to get the passports from the Muallim offices and travel with it. When will I receive my room? Okay, this is, what you got to remember is when the time that you are going in, into Medina, you've got 1,000 people checking in and 1,000 people checking out. Okay, so our room might not be ready when we arrive. Okay, bear that in mind. If it's not ready, then we ask the hotel management, when will it be ready? So you don't start freaking out and say, oh my God, I've traveled over so many hours and my hotel room isn't ready, and start throwing a fit and throw the dolls out the pram and everything. Because I'll tell you what, no matter what you do, this is Saudi Arabia, welcome to it, they rule. And they can do whatever they like. If they say after Zohar, that means after Zohar, but not straight after Zohar. After Zohar means up to Basr. Just remember that, yeah? It's the wording. So if you say after Zohar, and you go after Zohar and say, yeah, after Zohar, but not yet. Yeah, but you said after Zohar. Yeah, but it's not Asr, yeah, is it? So I'm not lying to you. So until after Zohar, that Asr to Asr is a long period. So sometimes that might not happen. If we have to wait 8 hours, 9 hours, sometimes it's happened, then don't panic. Does not mean that you're not going to get a room, or we haven't booked a room. It's just the way things are. We will get the room when the room is ready. It's simple as that. And we have to wait like everybody else has to wait. So again, when we go into in Medina, there may be issues about getting your room on time. But don't worry, it'll still happen. But once I get there, before you lot arrive, like the 14 days and the 19 days people, inshallah, I will get the room keys in advance. So you guys do not need to wait. But again, if there is a delay, it's not because we haven't bothered doing our job, it's just because the room isn't ready. Some people might need wheelchairs. What do I do if I need a wheelchair? The wheelchairs are very readily available in Medina. Every single pharmacy sells wheelchairs. They're about 300 riyals, which is just over £50 each. You buy them, use it, hammer it, do wheelies on it, do what you want. You can put at the end of it, you can just hand it over to the local person or give it to the hotel for somebody else to use. But what I suggest is because wheelchairs are also free from the haram, but to try and get one, you have to provide so much documentation, it's not worth the hassle. 50 quid, that's the little cost, and you can get that when you get to Medina. How do we communicate with you? Right. That's where we disappear. Not really. We have, like I said, 7 telephone numbers at the back. Okay? So if you can't get hold of Ibrahim, you go to the next one down, and then the next one down, and the next one down, for advice. Okay, so to get hold of us. However, on top of that, we have a notice board in Medina. And on that notice board, we will put everything that you need to know. And then we move the same notice board to Makkah, and the same notice board in the Shisha building as well. Okay, so we will communicate with you through notice boards, and I suggest that you read the notice boards after namaz. So because there'll be notices like ladies salam pesh after asr, or there'll be a notice like Maulana Imam taking a group to the Kajur market after Isha, or salam pesh after Isha, or ziyarat of Masjid al-Nabawi, so and so. Because we cannot fix these times now, we will make the decision at the time. So if you miss out on not reading the notices, then I'm sorry, that's the way we have to function. I can't give you a full itinerary now that we will stick to, because things will change more towards the time. Okay, some other questions. Okay, how do we travel from Medina to Makkah, and when? We will travel Medina to Makkah by coaches, and we will leave inshallah on the 5th of Zil Hajj after Isha, after we've taken food. Where do I put my ihram on? You put the ihram on in the hotel, and most men will put it in the hotel and leave maybe the top half to be put on at the miqat point. And once we're there, at the miqat point, you will have sufficient time to put your ihram on there if you need to, but please if you're going to have a shower or a bath, have that at the hotel. You'll wearing the ihram, putting the ihram on that does not mean that you are in ihram. The ihram, that it will come with the niyyah. To be in ihram, it comes with the intention. I will cover more towards how to perform the Umrah when we arrive in Medina, inshallah. Can we use an umbrella in Ihram? Yes, the answer to the question is where. Yes. Can we wear rings or a watch or hearing aid in Ihram or glasses? The answer is yes, we can. What sort of soap are we allowed to use in Ihram? The best soap to buy is Simple soap, which is unscented. Simple, the brand Simple. Can you wash your Ihram garments or put new ones on? Yes, when you're in Ihram, you can wash it, you can take it off, and you can put another Ihram on if you need to. Can you wear a belt? Yes, you can. You can wear a belt, and for the men, we'll provide you the Hajj belts today, inshallah. How many people in a room in Shisha? Maybe 4 to 5 people in a room, and sometimes the rooms are larger, there may be 7, but the rooms, you will not be tight. There's lots of space in the rooms, there will be enough space to put your luggage in there, and the space has been approved by the Ministry of Hajj. So again, in Shisha, you have to remember that it's more like a crash pad, and that building is there purely for location. It is not there for your cozy comforts, and it's also there to prepare you for the 5 days of Hajj. Because in those days, if you think that, oh my God, this condition is not as good, and I'm used to my 5-star Burj Al Arab, well, think again, because this is Hajj, and this is what the conditions are going to be like. You're paying for location here, and you will only appreciate this location after the Hajj has started. On the 3rd day, on the 4th day, on the 5th day of Hajj, this is when you will realize the value of the building that we have at the Jamarat. Who carries my luggage to and from the room and off the coach? You do. That's very simple. There's no way on this planet will our guys, 10 of us, will carry 256 people's luggage. Impossible, we just cannot do it. Everybody carries their own luggage. If you can't carry it, don't take it. And you don't buy it either. So that is not our responsibility. What is the address of the building in Shisha? What is my landmark? The landmark is Bin Dawood Shisha. Bin Dawood is the chain of supermarkets in Makkah and Medina. And Bin Dawood is like Tesco. So basically, the old landmark is Bin Dawood Shisha. Okay? Once you get to Bin Dawood Shisha, the building is directly behind it. How far is Shisha to the Jamarat? Shisha to the Jamarat is only 7 minutes walking. Okay? But from Shisha to the Holy Mosque can be half an hour walking through the tunnels, or 10 minutes on the coach or by taxi. Where do I wash my clothes? Well, I'll answer that question in a minute. And what type of food will we get in Shisha? Well, we will have 2 types of food. We have 2 chefs. One will be a Bangladeshi chef, and the other one will be a Pakistani chef. So you can take your pick. In the 5 days of Hajj, who is our Muallim? Who will look after me? Blah, blah, blah. You don't need to worry about it. We will have our guides. We will tell you exactly which camp you're going to be in, and who your Muallim is going to be, because we have 3 Muallims, 3 different Muallims for 3 different groups. So basically, we will inform you of who you need to go with in advance. So that's something you don't need to worry about at the time, for the time being. Most importantly, when we go for the 5 days of Hajj, I guarantee you, please listen to what we have to say. Please do not take your suitcases. This is the 5 days of Hajj, and in those 5 days of Hajj, you need luggage for 2 days. And when I say luggage, the only thing you need is a towel, a spare ihram clothing, and a toothbrush. That's it. Because we will feed you, okay? You don't need anything else. You're going to be in ihram, so you don't need anything else at all. I've seen people carry all sorts. Suitcases being carried from just Shisha all the way to the tent. Now then, we will not be responsible for anybody's luggage for the 5 days of Hajj. Why do you need it? When on the 3rd day of Hajj, when you come to the Jamrat, and you can go back to your building, and you've got access to all your clothes and belongings. So you don't need to take anything with you. Last year, we told everybody not to take their luggage with them, and their valuables, and their jewelry, but even then, we had to bring back 76 items, 76 bags that people were not prepared to carry themselves. And we were then left with the responsibility to take them back. So brothers and sisters, I'm sorry, but we cannot take that responsibility. We need things for 2 days. The space is incredibly tight, which I'll show you now. Then please don't take anything. What do you need? You need a bottle of water that you can carry, then you just refill that bottle of water. You need some maybe snacks, maybe a couple of apples or oranges or whatever for Muzdalifah. Other than that, you don't need anything else. The phone is crucial. You will all be given your SIM cards now. Ibrahim's going to be handing them out before you go. We don't need the iPhones of this world, because if you get lost, I think that's more important than somebody missing their Hajj for some people. So just take a very basic phone that is open to all networks, not then locked to orange and then you stuck when you get a BlackBerry or something like that. A simple phone that you can just plug the SIM in. Make sure you plug the SIM in here and your phone is live before you go. And it'll come up clearly, okay? And it's already got 15 riyals of credit on each SIM, and also you can top it up and you just go to the nearest money exchange place and say, credit, Zain credit. That's what it means, they understand, Zain credit. And you can just top it up with 20 riyals, 30 riyals, 40 riyals. In terms of money exchange, I suggest you just take maybe £50 worth of riyals from here, and the remainder you cash when you get to Medina. Because there are money exchange on practically every corner, so you can just get your money exchange there, and the rate is much better. ID cards must be worn at all times until you come to Jeddah Airport to come home. Right, what to expect? You can expect millions and millions of people. It's an absolute shock to the system. Wembley Stadium, at its best, is nothing compared to what you will come across at Hajj time. You will come across people from different backgrounds, different cultures, different societies, not even speaking the same language. Okay? You have to, Hajj is all about putting up with people like that. You'll be seeing people doing weird things, throwing stuff on the floor. You'll see so much disgusting things, like you'll be walking over and you think to yourself, why did they not just throw it in the bin? You know, food just left there. This is not, we cannot do anything about that. But if we do our bit, especially in the building that we are staying in, then it will be a lot easier for the next person. Now, there's 220 people staying in that one building. In that 220 people, everybody is going to be using the bathrooms. Okay? Now, if 220, one person goes in and leaves it in a mess, and then the next, and the next, and the next, what's it going to be like? That bathroom should be left in a condition better than how you found it. So if somebody's left or forgotten something there, like the ihram or anything else, then just pick it up and throw it in the bin. Okay? We cannot have a cleaner just stood outside for you lot on every toilet. That just cannot happen. Nor would anybody do that. We are Muslims. Cleanliness is half of our iman. So therefore, it is our responsibility to keep the place clean and as tidy as possible. When you get to the haram, there'll be lots of pushing and shoving and lots of people just doing what is going on. Yeah? Forget going to Hajj as well at all. You are not going to get there. If you do get there, you probably punch through 17 of 80 people before you got there. So the whole reason of going there is to try and get the reward, but you've committed more sins by getting there. So inshallah do sabr, because no doubt you're not going to get there. If there are delays in transportation and at the modeling office, please just continue with your objectives that you've put forward in front of you. I don't like going to the modeling office, but I have to go there because it's part of the Hajj itself. This is a picture of what Arafah is going to be. This is, again, you don't have to climb Jabal al-Rahmah, to be in Arafah. Arafah is a big plain. So therefore, trying to get there, it doesn't mean that just because you're not at the top of Jabal al-Rahmah that your Hajj is not accepted or complete. You can be anywhere in Arafah for that to happen. But look at the number of people that are there just in Arafah. People leaving Arafah to go to Muzdalifah. These are people that go in pedal. Everybody looks the same. Okay? So the loved ones that you have, make sure that you keep them close by. Okay? So because everybody will look the same. So these are the types of conditions, terrain that you will see. So no matter what, whether you're staying in a Dar al-Tawheed package or a Dar al-Naeem package or a Zamzam package, when it comes to the 5 days of Hajj, there is 0 star. And I mean 0 star. So there's no stars when it comes there. We just have to take it as it comes. This is what Muzdalifah looks like. Dark. Yeah? What is your shelter? What is your roof? It's the sky. The sky is your roof. And you can see these people there. And they are all sleeping. As you can see, they're sleeping on the floor with whatever space that you can find. 2 years ago, I was stood with one of my friends, Bazi, and he was from Travel Express. This gentleman came up to him in Muzdalifah. It was like this. I was just imagining the two of us stood there talking. And he came over and he said, "Brother," and he said, "Yes, can I have a quick word?" And he said, "Yes, yeah, go on, feel free." And he goes in private, because he's my friend, he's alright, say what you want. And he says, "I have booked myself on a 5-star package. What the hell is this?" This is true story. Happened in front of me. Because I booked myself on a 5-star package. What the hell is this? Where do I sleep with my wife? Wallahi lazim, this is a true story. This is the reason and the lack of education that people go with when even they're going for their trip of their lifetime. So I am showing you this picture so that you can see yourself here and what the conditions are going to be like. Your group leader is not going to be like, "Oh, here's all of our area in Muzdalifah, and that's it. From there to there will be the ladies, and from here to here will be the men." No. You have to get any space you can find. You are then, and in the morning, when it gets light, and I can see you all, we'll have our flags, and then we'll take you back from Muzdalifah back to Mina. But this is something that you need to bear in mind. And also, in the 5 days of Hajj, this is where you're going to be picking up the stones. Again, it's worthwhile taking one of the small torches, so you can see even a lot of these sophisticated mobile phones these days have the torches on them, so they can be very handy. So again, you'll be collecting your stones in Muzdalifah. Okay, that's another picture of Muzdalifah. Okay, so just to bear in mind, this is not what you've paid your £4,000 for. This is the conditions that we all have to sleep in Muzdalifah. And why is it like this? Because there's not enough space. 4 million people all there, doing the same thing. So it's not as if they've not paid their Hajj draft or we've paid so much money. Nothing matters. In these 5 days of Hajj, the only thing that matters is your amal. And everybody is the same. Okay? We've got millionaires in this room, but on those 5 days of Hajj, you're all equal. Okay? Nothing matters. No amount of money will give you a better place than this. This is a condition everybody has to sleep in. Surprise. Okay, we are going to offer free laundry service. For the 23 days, you will be given 4 times The 19 days will be given 3 times. The 14 days and the 8-day people, they'll get it twice. This, as you know, was not in the package, and it's something that we have brought in. Now, this is as many items of clothing as possible. As many as you want. You can take your wardrobes from England if you want to, no problem. We will get them washed for you. But you will be carrying it all yourself. So that's the first thing. The Medina Hotel, as I mentioned, has been upgraded from Mubarak Silver to Darul Naeem and Mukhtara International, all full board. What does full board mean? Which means breakfast, lunch and dinner. But it's not all inclusive, which means that we do not provide all the drinks throughout the day too, and burgers at tea time. Okay? So that's an all inclusive one. Okay, and also we have got a free shuttle service from Shisha to Makkah. Okay, free shuttle service from Shisha to Makkah, and this will be from when we arrive from Medina. Okay, so for 2 days. So if anybody wants to go for Salah on the second day where you're meant to be resting, so that will be available then. And also after the Hajj, remember the word after Hajj. So the 13th and the 14th of Zil Hajj, we will provide shuttle service, inshallah, to take you to the Haram and back. Now, this shuttle will not be available on the Tawaf Ziyarah day. The Tawaf Ziyarah, okay, which can be done between the 10th, 11th and 12th of Zil Hajj. 10th, 11th and 12th. Some people will do it straight away, others will do it on the next day, and some people will do it on the final day. My personal opinion is you do it on the second day after Isha. And the reason why I say that is because you guys have got the accommodation at the Jamarat. You guys do not need to go to Makkah on the first day, because it is going to be absolutely jam-packed to the extent where they will be shutting the doors. They will not let you in. You will move by shuffling. You'll move shuffling. That's how you will move. So my personal opinion is that you don't need to do that. Although it is the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ to do it on the first day, I would say you've got up to 3 days to do that. Do it after Isha on the second day, where you will do the tawaf and sa'i within approximately 1 hour 15 minutes to 1.5 hours, instead of the torturous 7 hours on the first day. But it's your call. Okay, so that's it from me. If you have any questions, please ask. But again, we will cover a lot of the Hajj itself and the Umrah, the rites of the Hajj and Umrah in Medina before, so it will be fresh in your minds. If you have any questions for myself or Maulana now, then please feel free to ask now. It's a good question. Is that when what do we need to carry with us? The sleeping bags, we've already purchased them for you. So you will, as you leave the Shisha building, we will provide them before you leave. Or in fact, you can just take it from the box and put it next to you. So you carry that. Also, it's worth carrying the mat that we talked about, because the terrain is very rough. And the sleeping bag we've given you is not exactly, for condition. It's a simple sleeping bag that you would use and throw away. So I suggest, that's a very good question. I suggest you do take the camping mat and the sleeping bag, which we will provide. But other than that, you don't need anything else except for maybe medication that you may need for 3 days, and basically a little bit of food that you may need for Muzdalifah. Any put them in your suitcases, because the mats you cannot buy. I've not seen them anywhere. You can only buy them here. So although you can buy the sleeping bags there, I've not seen the mats. The question is, do we have access? We are in Mina, okay? Yes. Obviously, you're not going to go there on the first day because you're going to be in Mina. The second day is Arafah and Muzdalifah, so you're not going to go there because you've got enough things to keep you going for the 2 days. However, the third day, when you go and help the shaitan, the big shaitan, so the third day is the busiest day for a Haji. For any Haji, the third day is the busiest and the most difficult. Why? Because you're going to go from Muzdalifah back to Mina to drop your luggage off. You don't have to, but most people do. And then from Mina, you're going to walk. There is no transport. Don't expect any transport in Mina itself. From going from Muzdalifah to Mina. Sorry, from Muzdalifah to the Jamarat. Muzdalifah to the Jamarat, no transport. But when you get there, you've pelted the big shaitan. After you've pelted the big shaitan, you are only 6 minutes walking to the Jamarat building. And that is open for you. In fact, not only is it open for you, but we will provide lunch and evening meal in the Jamarat building for all our Hajis. So this is the big advantage of having that building. If you didn't have that building, then you would either have to walk back to Mina or you have to walk to Makkah, which is another 4 kilometers.
It's been upgraded to 2 different hotels. Initially there was one hotel, wasn't there?
No, it's okay. Very good question. And Muqtara International, they're just next to each other, all in one row. But Darul Naeem is the newest, and Muqtara International, 2 of them are the newest out of the 3. And Muqtara International and Darul Naeem, the owner is the same. So what we've done is said there weren't enough rooms in Darul Naeem to put everybody in it. So the 14 days people, what Ibrahim decided, all of them will go into Muqtara, just to keep things simple. And the 19 days people will stay in Darul Naeem. But everybody will eat in Darul Naeem. They're next door to each other. Also, while we're talking about the hotel, if anybody wants internet access, it's readily available. In Darul Naeem, internet access and in Muqtara is readily available. So Muqtara, there was no password required when I was there just a few weeks ago. But in Darul Naeem, you have to buy credit from downstairs. So if you want to use the internet, just go in the reception of Muqtara and you can use it from there free of charge. Of course, yes. Yeah. Everywhere, look, we do not believe if you booked a double room that you're going to be lumbered with somebody else. If you paid for a double room, inshallah, you will get a double room. In 8 years, alhamdulillah, we've not been in a situation yet, alhamdulillah, that we have to change people around. That does not happen. You will get your own room. However, if you've got, say, we have to prioritize, and then we've got one family just at the front, in front of me, who's got 2 rooms together, husband, wife, and 2 daughters, okay? And they have to be next to each other, for obvious reasons. That, to me, is more important than having 2 families next to each other who are friends. Now, the way we are given things, we are given our rooms, it could be that room 207 and then the next room is 408. So we have to then decide, right, who goes where. But my priority would be family first, right? If the 2 rooms come together, they get it. And then I have to look at the next thing now. So these families, there's 8 of them, they go together, let's put them together. But it's a judgment call that we have to make at the time. I can't say that now because I do not know what your room numbers are going to be. One is, when we go from Medina to Makkah, will we stop at Zul Hulayfa? The answer to the question is yes. We will stop at Zul Hulayfa, the miqat point where the Prophet ﷺ, he himself did ihram from. So we will stop there for those who want to wear the ihram or put their ihram or make the intention. You can make the intention from Zul Hulayfa. So yes, we will be stopping there. Question number 2 is what do we pray as we are musafir? What do we pray? How many rakats? You're all musafir, yeah? So basically, you will be reading 2 rakats. 2 rakat as a musafir, not 4. Muzdalifah back to Mina. The distance between Muzdalifah to Mina is approximately 2 kilometers or less. Because the way Mina is, okay, the way we have Mina, the map of Mina which I have, are here. The European tents for Mina are here. So they are very, very close to Muzdalifah. So that distance here is approximately 1.5 to 2 kilometers. So it takes in walking time maybe 20 minutes. Okay? And to be fair, we usually walk it. Because there is no control at this point, going from Muzdalifah to Mina, there is no control there of the muallims. So it's basically fighting for the bus. We will try and get all the elderly people on the bus, but most people will walk from Muzdalifah back to Mina, and that's the best thing to do. It's quicker and it's safer. We'll keep everybody in a group, right, and then we will walk it. It's only 20 minutes, but it's worth it. And guaranteed you'll get quicker. It'll be quicker than waiting for the bus. Now then, I would seriously double consider walking from Mina to Arafat. Now check that distance out there. That is approximately 8.5 kilometers. 8.5 kilometers, and you probably leave after Fajr in Mina and then get there. It'll probably take you maybe 2.5 to 3 hours to get there because it's hot. But you need your energy in Arafat throughout the day after Zohar. So if you're absolutely shattered in this time frame by just going from Mina to Arafat, then basically you're not going to have the energy to make your dua and ask for forgiveness after Zohar. And also, this journey from Arafah back to Muzdalifah, yeah? Don't underestimate it. People say, 2 years ago we had this situation where Brother Afi, who's a military man, he decided to walk it from Arafat to Muzdalifah. But that's his choice, he can handle it, he knew the distance. He carried on walking, and then there's some other colleagues that were with him said, well, if you're walking, I'm walking. He says, alright, then come on, walk. Not realizing that the walk is not round the corner, it's 8.5 kilometers. So by the time they got there, en route, they'll see people sleeping, because when you get into Muzdalifah, that itself is a very large area. Don't forget, 4 million people to occupy there. So even then they got lost, and that's my fault, because they didn't go on the bus. There are certain things that if you decide to do yourself, you have to put your hand up and take responsibility for it. My personal opinion, and what I'll say to everybody from here, is do everything that we do. And I'm the laziest out of all of them, and I'll be going on the bus. So, if you don't go on the bus and follow me, you'll be okay. If you want to walk, it's on your head. You do it, your responsibility. Yes. Shisha, yeah. I put it in a different color. So if that's the Jamarat there, that point there, where both, or the distance there is about 6 minutes. That's the Jamarat accommodation. Shisha, that's Jamarat itself, where the pelting of the shaitan takes place. And Haram is here. To get from Shisha to Masjid al-Haram, there is 2 tunnels that go through these mountains to cut across. If you go by taxi, then you will go down this road and then come around this way. Okay? Okay. When you're there and you're going to this, you follow the Imam. You follow the Imam. Okay? But when we are, people that are traveling with me next week, obviously we are going to be Musafir, so we will read Zohar only. Trust me, I will not be standing up at the beginning, at the front of the plane and doing a khutbah. No. If anybody wants to read it, then you can read it in the plane. Zohar Salah as a Musafir. Yes, brother. In the shuttle, Shisha to Makkah, when we get there, right, we'll get busy in the days of Hajj. Because we are there 1.5 days before, okay, there are certain times where the road, there's only one road, you see, that takes you from Shisha or Jamarat to Makkah. There's only one road. So you can imagine that it's going to be pretty heavy for traffic. However, there are certain times of the day where it's very quiet. Like for example, after Fajr, it becomes quiet. After Asr, busy. Okay? So there are certain times, but generally maximum 12-13 minutes including the traffic on a normal day. But if for example, if you provided a transportation on the day of Tawaf Ziyarah, that could take hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. It's not worth it. Walking is easier. Any other questions before we complete our Hajj talk? Okay. Well, Jazakallah for coming, Jazakallah for listening, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for all of us, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives the patience, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bond our hearts, join our hearts, so that all of us, Allah gives us, all of us a Hajj and Mabrur, and also gives us a sabr and patience before to perform our Hajj in peace, and grants our Hajj and Mabrur.
दुरूद शरीफ पढ़ लीजिए। बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। अल्लाहुम्मा सल्लि अला मुहम्मद व अला आलि मुहम्मद कमा सल्लैता अला इब्राहीम व अला आलि इब्राहीम इन्नका हमीदुम मजीद। अल्लाहुम्मा बारिक अला मुहम्मद व अला आलि मुहम्मद कमा बारकता अला इब्राहीम व अला आलि इब्राहीम इन्नका हमीदुम मजीद। अल्लाहुम्मा अंतस सलाम व मिनकस सलाम तबारकत या ज़ल जलालि वल इकराम। ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار اللهم اغفر لحينا وميتنا وشاهدنا وغائبنا وصغيرنا وكبيرنا وذكرنا وأنثانا اللهم من أحييته منا فأحيه على الإسلام ومن توفيته منا فتوفه على الإيمان اللهم آنس وحشتنا في قبورنا اللهم ارحمنا بالقرآن العظيم واجعله لنا إماما ونورا وهدى ورحمة اللهم ذكرنا منه ما نسينا وعلمنا منه ما جهلنا وارزقنا تلاوته آناء الليل وآناء النهار واجعله لنا حجة يا رب العالمين اللهم إنا نسألك علما نافعا ورزقا واسعا وشفاء من كل داء اللهم إنك عفو كريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا اللهم إنك عفو كريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا اللهم إنك عفو كريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا اللهم أجرنا من النار اللهم أجرنا من النار اللهم أجرنا من النار اللهم إنا نسألك الهدى والتقى والعفاف والغنى اللهم إنا نسألك جنة الفردوس ونعوذ بك من النار اللهم إنا نسألك جنة الفردوس ونعوذ بك من النار اللهم إنا نسألك جنة الفردوس ونعوذ بك من النار या रब्बे करीम हमारे तमाम गुनाहों को माफ फरमा दे रात के अंधेरे में दिन के उजाले में उठते बैठते सोते जाते जितने भी गुनाह हमसे सरजद हुए हैं या रब्बे करीम उन तमाम को माफ फरमा दे या रब्बे करीम तमाम गुनाहों को माफ फरमा दे वालिदैन के तमाम गुनाहों को माफ फरमा दे भाई बहनों के तमाम गुनाहों को माफ फरमा दे रिश्तेदारों के तमाम गुनाहों को माफ फरमा दे دوستو احباب کے تمام گناہوں کو معاف فرما دے، پوری امت مسلمہ کے گناہوں کو معاف فرما دے، اور تمام مرحومین کی مغفرت فرما دے، تمام مرحومین کی مغفرت فرما دے، تمام مرحومین کی مغفرت فرما دے، تمام مرحومین کی قبروں کو جنت کا باغ بنا دے، تمام مرحومین کی جنت الفردوس کا فیصلہ فرما دے، تمام مرحومین کے لیے جنت الفردوس کا فیصلہ فرما دے۔ یا رب کریم جتنے بھی لوگ یہاں پر جمع ہوئے ہیں، یا رب کریم ان کے تمام کے جمع ہونے کو قبول فرما دے، ان تمام کے جمع کے لیے ہم سب یہاں پر جمع ہوئے ہیں، اس مقصد کے اندر ہم سب کو کامیابی نصیب فرما، ہم سب کو کامیابی نصیب فرما، ہم سب کو کامیابی نصیب فرما۔ یا رب کریم ہم نے جو حج اور عمرہ کا ارادہ کیا ہے، یا رب کریم اس ارادے کو قبول فرما لے، اس ارادے کو قبول فرما لے، اور اس ارادے کو آسان فرما، اس ارادے کو آسان فرما۔ یا رب کریم ہم سب کو عمرہ مقبولہ اور حج مبرور نصیب فرما دے، ہم سب کو عمرہ مقبولہ اور حج مبرور نصیب فرما دے۔ یا رب کریم حج کے سفر کو آسان فرما، حج کے سفر کو آسان فرما۔ یا رب کریم جتنے بھی گروپ لیڈرز ہیں، جتنے بھی سٹاف ممبرز ہیں، یا رب کریم ان سب کے لیے آسان فرما دے، ان سب کے لیے آسان فرما دے۔ یا رب کریم حجاج کرام پوری دنیا سے تشریف لائیں گے، وہ سب آپ کی گھر کی زیارت کے لیے آئیں گے، زمزم کا پانی پینے کے لیے آئیں گے، صفا مروہ کی سعی کرنے کے لیے آئیں گے، صلاۃ و سلام پڑھنے کے لیے آئیں گے، قبر اطہر کی زیارت کرنے کے لیے آئیں گے، مکہ مکرمہ کی زیارت کے لیے آئیں گے، مدینہ منورہ کی زیارت کے لیے آئیں گے۔ یا رب کریم ان سب کے آنے کو قبول فرما لے، ان سب کے آنے کو قبول فرما لے، اور بار بار ان کو آنے کی توفیق نصیب فرما، بار بار ان کو آنے کی توفیق نصیب فرما۔ یا رب کریم ہم سب کی اولاد کو نیک اور صالح بنا دے، ہم سب کی اولاد کو نیک اور صالح بنا دے، ان سب کو دین دار بنا دے، ان سب کو دین کے داعی بنا دے، ان سب کو دنیا اور آخرت کے اندر کامیابی نصیب فرما دے۔ یا رب کریم حج سے جانے کے پہلے تمام معاملات کو صاف کرنے کی توفیق نصیب فرما، حج سے جانے سے پہلے تمام معاملات کو صاف کرنے کی توفیق نصیب فرما۔ یا رب کریم آج بھائی بھائی کے اندر جھگڑے ہیں، بہنوں کے اندر جھگڑے ہیں، باپ اور بیٹے کے درمیان جھگڑے ہیں، ماں اور بیٹی کے درمیان جھگڑے ہیں، یا رب کریم ان تمام جھگڑوں کو ختم فرما دے، ان تمام جھگڑوں کو ختم فرما دے۔ یا رب کریم مسلمان بہت پریشان ہے، یا رب کریم عراق کے مسلمان پریشان ہے، پاکستان کے مسلمان پریشان ہے، ہندوستان کے مسلمان پریشان ہے، فلسطین کے مسلمان پریشان ہے، ایران کے مسلمان پریشان ہے، کشمیر کے مسلمان پریشان ہے۔ یا رب کریم مسلمان ہر جگہ مظلوم ہے، ہر جگہ پریشان ہے۔ یا رب کریم مسلمانوں کی پریشانیوں کو دور فرما دے، مسلمانوں کی پریشانیوں کو دور فرما دے، اور یا رب کریم مسلمانوں کو فتح نصیب فرما دے، مسلمانوں کو فتح نصیب فرما دے۔ یا رب کریم ہر ایک کے دل کے اندر بہت سی تمنائیں ہیں، یا رب کریم ان سب کی تمناؤں کو پورا فرما دے، ان سب کی تمناؤں کو پورا فرما دے۔ یا رب کریم ہم سب کو حج مبرور نصیب فرما، یا رب کریم ہم سب کو حج مبرور نصیب فرما، یا رب کریم ہم سب کو حج مبرور نصیب فرما۔ اور یا رب کریم اللہ، یا اللہ تیرے گھر کی محبت نصیب فرما، تیرے گھر کی محبت نصیب فرما۔ یا رب کریم زمزم کے پانی کی محبت نصیب فرما، صفا مروہ کی محبت نصیب فرما، مکہ مکرمہ کی محبت نصیب فرما، مدینہ منورہ کی محبت نصیب فرما، اور حضور پاک صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم کی سچی محبت ہم سب کو نصیب فرما دے۔ آپ صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم کے مبارک طریقے کے اوپر ہم سب کو چلنے کی توفیق نصیب فرما۔ یا رب کریم صحابہ کرام نے اپنی جانوں کو قربان کر دیا، یا رب کریم ہم تک کلمہ لا الہ الا اللہ محمد الرسول اللہ پہنچائے۔ یا رب کریم وہ ہمارے محسن ہے، صحابہ کرام ہمارے محسن ہے، آپ صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم نے دن رات ایک کر دیا۔ یا رب کریم پوری رات کو روتے تھے، آپ صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم امتی امتی کہہ کر روتے تھے، سوتے نہیں تھے، پوری رات روتے تھے۔ یا رب کریم ہمیں توفیق نصیب فرما کہ ہم اس پیارے نبی کے طریقے کو اپنا لیں۔ یا رب کریم جب مدینہ منورہ جائے تو اس کا احترام نصیب فرما، جب مکہ مکرمہ جائے تو تو اس کا احترام نصیب فرما. یا رب کریم آپ سے بھیک مانگتے ہیں. یا رب کریم بدن کا ہر عضو گنہگار ہے. ہمارے ہاتھ بھی گنہگار, ہمارے پاؤں بھی گنہگار, ہماری زبان بھی گنہگار, ہماری آنکھیں بھی گنہگار. یا رب کریم پورا بدن گناہوں سے بھرا ہوا ہے, لیکن یا رب کریم جائے تو کہا جائے. یا رب کریم آپ کے در کے سوا اور کوئی در نہیں ہے. آپ تو ارحم الراحمین ہے, احکم الحاکمین ہے, آپ تو رحمان ہے, رحیم ہے, غفور ہے. یا رب کریم اس مجلس کے اندر چھوٹے چھوٹے بچے ہیں. یا رب کریم اس مجلس کے اندر نیک لوگ ہیں. یا رب کریم ان کے صدقے توفیل میں ہماری دعا کو قبول فرما لے. یا رب کریم جو چھوٹے چھوٹے بچے اس مجلس کے اندر ہے, معصوم ہے, گناہوں سے پاک ہے, یا رب کریم ان کی لاج رکھ کر ہماری دعا کو قبول فرما لے. یا رب کریم آخر میں یہی التجا ہے کہ ہماری اس جمع ہونے کو قبول فرما, ہر ایک کو قبول فرما, اور جو ہم نے حج اور عمرہ کا ارادہ کیا ہے یا رب کریم اس کو آسان فرما اور اس کو قبول فرما. جزا اللہ عنا محمدا ما هو اہلہ, وصلی اللہ تعالی علی خیر خلق سیدنا محمد وعلی آلہ واصحابہ اجمعین. سبحان ربک رب العزة عما یصفون وسلام علی المرسلین والحمد للہ رب العالمین برحمتک یا ارحم الراحمین.
آمین.